What's up, everybody? Good morning. And we are ready to do another reaction to George Carlin. And this time, his religion is BS bit. This will be interesting. If you've watched the channel for a sec, you know that I am religious. I have become pretty religious in my life. I can understand, though, people's arguments against it. And you know, I've thought about them all a lot. And for me, it comes down to this. It makes me happy. And it's unfortunately or fortunately become the thing that makes me a better person. But I understand that it's not for everyone. I mean, I believe it could be, but I mean, I'm not going to force that on everyone. But yeah, I understand a lot of these arguments of how it can be so dogmatic and whatnot. And me personally, when I try to substitute it with other things, I realize that the substitution had similarities to religion anyway. Like, it seems to be like a human nature thing to me. So but anyway, I'm interested to see what George Carlin has to say. And at the same time, understanding he's making jokes. And he just doesn't, if he just doesn't believe and he's calling these things out, I'm sure he's going to have great points because he's an incredibly smart guy. And I can take it. So I will enjoy it. If you are religious and getting offended and it's upsetting you, if I don't get offended and I laugh at it, hey, calm down. It's okay. It's okay. It's good to laugh at ourselves a little bit. So let's check this out. Appreciate y'all recommending this. Here we go.
But in the bullshit department, a businessman can't hold a candle to a clergyman. Because I gotta tell you the truth, folks. I gotta tell you the truth. When it comes to bullshit, big time, major league bullshit, you have to stand in awe. In awe of the all-time champion of false promises and exaggerated claims, religion. No contest. No contest.
Exaggerated claims. That's a good point. Yeah, I agree. Exaggerated claims. Yeah, it is true. Yeah.
Religion easily has the greatest bullshit story ever told. Think about it. Religion has actually convinced people that there's an invisible man living in the sky who watches everything you do every minute of every day. And the invisible man has a special list of 10 things he does not want you to do. And if you do any of these 10 things, he has a special place full of fire and smoke and burning and torture and anguish where he will send you to live and suffer and burn and choke and scream and cry forever and ever till the end of time. But he loves you.
Clever. Clever.
He loves you. He loves you and he needs money. He always needs money. He's all powerful, all perfect, all knowing, and all wise. Somehow, just can't handle money.
Just can't handle money.
Religion takes in billions of dollars. They pay no taxes, and they always need a little more. Now, you talk about a good bullshit story. Holy shit.
Tell me how you really feel, George.
Thank you. But, thank you very much. But I want you to know.
I'm assuming George Carlin was never or didn't like religion in his life, and that's fine. I don't know his story. What did he substitute it with, right? Because you know, it doesn't always happen, but I have a lot of friends who, you know, hated our religion or upbringing in Christianity or something, and the way that they treat government and politics to me seems pretty religious, you know, or their hatred for religious people has become religious, you know. But then I also know a few people who have just taken a road where they just are accepting of, they don't really care what anyone does, and I really appreciate and respect that. Like, so It's interesting, but I don't know George Carlin's life. But
I want you to know something. This is sincere. I want you to know, when it comes to believing in God, I really tried. I really tried. I tried to believe that there is a God who created each of us in his own image and likeness, loves us very much, and keeps a close eye on things. I really tried to believe that, but I gotta tell you, the longer you live, the more you look around, the more you realize something is fucked up. Something is wrong here. War, disease, death, destruction, hunger, filth, poverty, torture, crime, corruption, and the ice.
I knew this is where he was going to go against God argument.
Something is.
I knew that's where he was going to go against the argument, which again, it's a decent one. It's a
definitely wrong. This is not good
or an understandable
work.
one.
If this is the best God can do, I am not impressed. Results like these do not belong on the resume of a supreme being. This is the kind of shit you'd expect from an office temp with a bad attitude. And just between you and me, in any decently run universe, this guy would have been out on his all-powerful ass a long time ago. And by the way, I say this guy because I firmly believe, looking at these results, that if there is a God, it has to be a man. No woman could or would ever fuck things up like this. So,
get the clapter. Get the clapter.
If there is a God, if there is, I think most reasonable people might agree that he's at least incompetent and maybe, just maybe, doesn't give a shit. Doesn't give a shit, which I admire in a person and which would explain a lot of these bad results. So rather than be just another mindless religious robot, mindlessly and aimlessly and blindly believing that all of this is in the hands of some spooky, incompetent father figure who doesn't give a shit, I decided to look around for something else to worship, something I could really count on. And immediately, I thought of the sun. Happened like that. Overnight, I became a sun worshiper. Well, not overnight. You can't see the sun at night. First thing the next morning, I became a sun worshiper. Several reasons. First of all, I can see the sun, okay? Unlike some other gods I could mention, I can actually see the sun. I'm big on that. If I can see something, I don't know, kind of helps the credibility along, you know? So every day I can see the sun as it gives me everything I need: heat, light, food, flowers in the park, reflections on the lake, an occasional skin cancer, but hey, at least there are no crucifixions, and we're not setting people on fire simply because they don't agree with us. Sun worship is fairly simple.
Messed up.
There's no mystery, no miracles, no pageantry, no one asks for money, there are no songs to learn, and we don't have a special building where we all gather once a week to compare clothing.
That bugs me so bad. Oh gosh, that bugs me so bad. Yeah, there's like, it's weird how people, like, for churchgoers, me who is one of them, like, yeah, it's just how much human nature gets in the way of all of this crap, and it can become a pretty, I don't know, a really annoying environment. I totally get that one. In my experience, the reason why I didn't go to church for a very long time, or why I kind of resented it, and why I think a lot of people close to me did, it's that, dude, it's so annoying. It's incredibly annoying. He's just so interesting to listen to, man. And like, again, I am understanding and empathetic to his opinion. It makes a lot of sense. But the way he delivers it is just fun and enjoyable. Again, if you are a religious person watching this right now, remember I am, and this is bugging you, come on. Right? Like, it's understandable. But this is great. He's
best thing about the sun, it never tells me I'm unworthy. Doesn't tell me I'm a bad person who needs to be saved. Hadn't said an unkind word.
I knew he was going here too.
Treats me fine. So I worship the sun, but I don't pray to the sun. Know why? I wouldn't presume on our friendship. It's not polite. I've often thought people treat God rather rudely, don't you? Asking trillions and trillions of prayers every day, asking and pleading and begging for favors. Do this, give me that, I need a new car, I want a better job. And most of this praying takes place on Sunday, his day off. It's not nice, and it's no way to treat a friend. But people do pray, and they pray for a lot of different things. You know, your sister needs an operation on her crotch. Your brother was arrested for defecating in a mall. But most of all, you'd really like to fuck that hot little redhead down at the convenience store. You know, the one with the eye patch and the club foot. Huh?
What the F?
Can you pray for that? I think you'd have to. And I say, fine, pray for anything you want. Pray for anything. But what about the divine plan? Remember that? The divine plan.
Yeah.
Long time ago, God made a divine plan. Gave it a lot of thought, decided it was a good plan, put it into practice. And for billions and billions of years, the divine plan has been doing just fine. Now you come along and pray for something. Well, suppose the thing you want isn't in God's divine plan. What do you want him to do? Change his plan? Just for you? Doesn't it seem a little arrogant? It's a divine plan. What's the use of being God if every rundown schmuck with a $2 prayer book can come along and fuck up your plan? And here's something else, another problem you might have. Suppose your prayers aren't answered. What do you say? Well, it's God's will. Thy will be done. Fine, but if it's God's will and he's going to do what he wants to anyway, why the fuck bother praying in the first place? Seems like a big waste of time to me. Couldn't you just skip the praying part and go right to his will? It's all very confusing. So
I love that point, because again, what he's describing to me, right? I mean, yeah, there's definitely so much shallow thinking in God believers, right? And in all of us, like, yeah, we all can make ourselves like, yeah, that's the end of the universe so easily, and frick, it's annoying. And yeah, I mean, in case you're wondering, like, my take on a few of these things, I don't know if you are. Right, I don't believe prayer is asking for the things I want. I believe prayer is a time where I'm trying to have it revealed to me what that will is, right? So I'm trying to express what I'm wanting, but if it's wrong, like, I need to be open, and that's a hard thing to do, right? Like, to give up the things that I want. But this is where actually it wasn't more prayer that taught me that. It was like meditation, to surrender my will and to then be willing to accept whatever happens, you know? And do you need religion to have a life of surrender and awe and wonder to whatever happens? I don't think so. I guess you can make a case not, but it has helped me. But yeah, I love his call. The things he's calling out, I actually completely agree with, and a lot of religious people and religion in general, when it's just this shallow and self-centered, and yeah, definitely not what it's meant to be. But I will say, every argument he's making are the same arguments every person tries to make to me when they try to convince me that my belief in God is stupid, and I understand it. It's fine. So, but man, if you were giving it to me, dude, I would be laughing my head off. And yeah.
So to get around a lot of this, I decided to worship the sun. But as I said, I don't pray to the sun. You know who I pray to? Joe Pesci. Joe Pesci. Joe Pesci. Two reasons. First of all, I think he's a good actor, okay?
He's a good actor.
That counts. Second, he looks
Home Alone, one of the best movies of all time.
like a guy who can get things done. Joe Pesci doesn't fuck around. Doesn't fuck around. In fact, Joe Pesci came through on a couple of things that God was having trouble with. For years, I asked God to do something about my noisy neighbor with the barking dog. Joe Pesci straightened that cocksucker out with one visit.
Nice.
It's amazing what you can accomplish with a simple baseball bat.
That's true.
So
It's amazing what you could accomplish. That if that's bugging you, just walk on over there and let them know. And hey, someone just subscribed. I need to remove that for while I'm filming these reactions. Sorry, guys. Let me actually just hide that right now.
I've been praying to Joe for about a year now. And I noticed something. I noticed that all the prayers I used to offer to God and all the prayers I now offer to Joe Pesci are being answered at about the same 50% rate. Half the time I get what I want, half the time I don't. Same as God, 50-50. Same as the four-leaf clover and the horseshoe, the wishing well and the rabbit's foot. Same as the mojo man. Same as the voodoo lady who tells you your fortune by squeezing the goat's testicles. It's all the same, 50-50. So just pick your superstition, sit back, make a wish, and enjoy yourself. And for those of you who look to the Bible for moral lessons and literary qualities, I might suggest a couple of other stories for you.
There's a lot of kind of sketchy stuff in there.
Look at The Three Little Pigs. That's a good one. Has a nice, happy ending. I'm sure you'll like that. Then there's Little Red Riding Hood, although it does have that X-rated part where the big bad wolf actually eats the grandmother, which I didn't care for, by the way. And finally, I've often always drawn a great deal of moral comfort from Humpty Dumpty. The part I like the best, all the king's horses and all the king's men couldn't put Humpty Dumpty back together again. That's because there is no Humpty Dumpty and there is no God. None, not one, no God, never was. In fact, I'm gonna put it this way. If there is a God, may he strike this audience dead. See, nothing happened. Nothing happened. Everybody's okay. All right? Tell you what. I'll raise the stakes. A little bit. If there is a God, may he strike me dead. See? Nothing happened. Oh, wait, got a little cramp in my leg. And my balls hurt. Plus, I'm blind. Oh, now I'm okay again. Must have been Joe Pesci, huh? God bless Joe Pesci. Thank you all very much. Joe bless you.
Oh, that's how he ends his special.
I appreciate it.
George Carlin, everybody. Yeah, not offended. That was a good bit. Not convinced of anything different, and this is where again I'm glad I watched that. That was interesting to watch. Thanks to all of you guys who recommended that one. George Carlin is amazing. We're gonna keep checking him out. Again, to anyone who was offended, if you're a believer, hey, come on, relax, don't be. And the things that he brings up are questions I had to think about very clearly, like in depthly. And for me, yeah, maybe I came up with answers to help because of like belief bias, right? Sure, all of those things can come into play, but the things he does call out that's very shallow thinking that a lot of people have. Hey, yeah, you should get tested on those things, and we should allow ourselves to think about those things because I think it leads to something bigger. Yeah. The things he calls out, a lot of them I don't believe in, by the way. Like, no, my belief in God is that it's a little bit more complicated than he's just all powerful and can do whatever he wants. As I've read through the Bible, so right off the bat, I can tell he's never read through the entire thing, right? Or has never pondered it. And that's completely fine. It's a funny joke, his comparison to these childhood stories, but I think there's something about the Bible having lasted for millennia and people always going back to it for understanding. But as you go through it, right, you probably wouldn't think that God is just all powerful over everything. He seems to be a being that's also subject to laws of the universe too, right? So that's the misconception I see from a lot of people calling me out on my belief in God. I think he'll just do anything, can do anything, will do anything. I'm like, no, I don't think that. But to me, God is also in my mind that ideal that I have, that when I wake up in the morning or before I go to bed at night, and as I think about the things that I could have done better, that judge within myself. Some people think that maybe it's just our conscience, and hey, that's fine. But to me, I think that is my relationship with God was speaking to me, right? And letting me know I need to improve that thing. And it's not about feeling shame about not being all I can be. I'm glad there's that thing within me telling me I'm not enough. It has led to all the other good things in my life. To listen to that, and yeah, it doesn't feel good. Also, another misconception: from what he says, it seems like I think God should be this being that just makes you feel just good and happy all the time. And no, also disagree with that. I've never believed that. So I appreciate him calling those things out. It's a good reminder. It's good stuff. He's an amazing comic. Can't wait. And he's a brilliant person. So hope you enjoyed that. I doubt you came here to to learn about what my beliefs are, but all I would like to express that in closing there, it feels good to have your beliefs and your biases tested. I'm glad I watched this. Hope you're doing the same thing for you. And I hope you're walking, you're laughing, you're enjoying your life. Keep it real, guys. Peace out.